offside. He's offside. Is he offside?
Wouldn't surprise me if he's not, and they've just done it anyway. He's on! He's fucking on!
No.
Why? He's on!
No, I don't think so.
He's on him, lads. That's on.
Tight.
From that angle, that looks
close.
on. I want to see VAR on it.
Yeah, let's go to the screen on
Damn right, there should be VAR on this. That's on.
Oh, it's not.
They didn't show us the lines. What? I didn't see a single line.
Oh, what the hell?
Oh my God.
Are you messing me? Where's the lines? Didn't show me no. Are you messing? Are you telling? This is mad. I want to see the lines. Didn't show me nothing. Is this some kind of agenda or something? What's going on?
Watching it with no sound is crazy as well.
I can't. What's going on?
Wow, that was surely
quite. There needs to be some kind of mad investigation. That's not a blunder. That's not incompetence. That's intentional.
Hi and welcome along to the weekend roundup. Things even falling down already.
It's going to be a good show.
Things falling down already for AGT. Can we have a VAR check?
Yeah, let's get that.
Listen, I get the feeling that this is going to be a very, very heated show today. It's been kicking off for about the last half an hour, even before the show started. This is going to be a bit of a wild one, right? Of course, lots of controversies over the weekend and some loads of results to round up, some crazy results over this weekend. And here to discuss the games, we've got Abby Summers, as you know, big Tottenham fan. We've got AGT, Liverpool fan, and we are waiting on Matisse. Matisse will come in. He's had some problems with the trains. Listen, the trains at the moment are absolutely crazy due to all these strikes that are going on. But just before we get into it, guys, I just got to tell you that this video is brought to you today by FairPlay. FairPlay is an app that allows you to place money bets against your mates, and there's no need for cash. There's no commission. So you take 100% of your winnings and it's free to download. So you can say both bet a tenner and whoever wins, the person keeps the 20 quid and they gotta get it because you know, like a lot of times, you know, you bet something and you never get paid up. Yeah. On this, you get paid up. The app is designed to get the bragging rights against your mates, so you can bet on whatever you choose. Which team is gonna win a game, who's going to win a golf match? How many pints can you down? Who's going to get the next big VAR decision? You know, you get anything you want to bet on, right? Today's bet, right, is going to be coming up a little bit later on, so stay tuned for that, right? And don't forget to use the code AFC. You'll also be automatically entered into a draw to win a signed Lionel Messi shirt that he wore at the Qatar 2022 World Cup, right? So you'll be entered into a draw for that. The link is in the description, so get involved in that right now.
Yeah, it's very easy to join up, Robbie. It takes 30 seconds, around about the same time it would have taken to allow the Diaz goal at Tottenham on the weekend. But you can download the app, Apple Store, Google Play Store, and you've got the code there to enter to join up. But it's a very fun betting app, and I'm sure we're going to have another fun bet to report today.
Okay.
But it is very good. You should get involved.
It sounds brilliant. As I said, Matisse is going to drop in as soon as he gets
Where's
there.
Flex as well, by the way?
Yeah. No Flex today as well. Yeah, Flex, by the way.
Flex. How they all just duck out when their team loses, isn't
yeah,
it?
Flex. Yeah. Flex hasn't actually ducked out. What it is, he's at the Man United press conference because of they got their Champions League game. Like Arsenal got their Champions League game as well. So he's at the Man United press conference this morning. And actually, I saw where Ten Hag was talking about how Anthony is in contention to be selected in that game. That's a very controversial one. But we'll get to Manchester United later on. We'll get to Manchester City later on. And we'll get to Arsenal. But there's only one place to start. And that was the game at the weekend. Big game.
Huge.
Right, huge game. Tottenham Hotspur versus Liverpool. Both teams coming to the game with an unbeaten record. But it was Tottenham Hotspur who came out on top against 9 men. By the way, Flex is calling me. Oh, let me see what he wants. Hold on, wait a minute. Let's see. Flex?
Hey, how you doing, guys?
Oh, yeah, we were just talking about you.
I know you was. I was watching. You know,
yeah,
I don't duck. I like what you're saying, Robbie, telling the truth. I've got work commitments today. You know, obviously the games come thick and fast. Obviously, you know, if you don't play midweek, then you'll be relishing in your 3 points on the weekend. But if you've got other things to prioritise, it's on to the next. And for me, that's tomorrow. So just spoke to Ten Hag and Raphael Varane about the Champions League game coming up tomorrow.
Okay. Did you speak to them about Saturday, though? The Crystal Palace game. That's what we want to know.
Obviously, I don't know if you're aware, Robbie, how it works. Basically, it's 2 different governing bodies. So one's the Premier League, one's UEFA.
Oh.
So there will be
no, you wouldn't know that. It's been too long.
Press conference regarding Premier League activity.
Okay. Well, listen, we will be discussing that game later on. But I know you didn't. To be fair to him, he didn't duck out.
I did say from before.
Yeah, he didn't duck out. He did say from before.
I would never duck
big
out.
up Flex, man.
And actually on that Flex, right? Because I was just seeing where they said that Anthony is going to be in contention. Ten Hag said that in the press conference.
Yeah.
What's the feeling around that?
I'll be honest, it's a bit... I just come out of the presser and it wasn't great because he got asked the question about what that says, sort of thing. But Ten Hag's answer was pretty simple, which, Anthony's cooperating and we'll see further what happens. Basically, he hasn't been charged of anything and kept it moving, but it was a bit of a sticky one inside the presser, I'm not going to lie. But a statement's been made. There hasn't been anything yet. It's still a sensitive topic, but in terms of he's back, I think all we can do is say, well, for footballing, on the footballing side of things, we're lacking on the right-hand side. So if Ten Hag thinks he's ready, only being in one training session plus today's, which is going to be in about 20 minutes, we'll have to see. But I think AGT said, how does that make Sancho feel? Did you say?
Yeah.
Yeah. You look at it from the Sancho situation, and his situation is you're not training properly. So until you apologise after what you did, which you factually did do that in front of all them people, then you're not getting back in the team. I don't think that's going to change, to be honest. I don't think that's ever going to change until he says sorry. So, it's he's back in the team, and we'll see how he does.
Yeah. All right. Well, listen, we're going to discuss Manchester United later on, but listen, you keep up the good work there. Remember, everybody can catch Flex on United View. And you'll have that all the details from that press conference up today, right?
It's going up in about 5 to... After you guys finish the show, if there's any United fans there on DR, check out United View afterwards for the latest from the press conference. And just quickly, I missed the beginning of the show. Did you lot do Liverpool and Spurs yet?
Well, we're just about to get into that right now.
I'm gonna go and get my headphones on and watch this bit. Well done, Abby, and well done, AGT. Lovely.
All right, thank you. Oh, that was very nice of Flex. He didn't duck out, so he just wanted to reiterate that he didn't duck out of proceedings, and nor did either of you two duck out. Well, I knew you wouldn't duck out of proceedings.
To be fair, I was here holding it every week last season. Every week.
No, you weren't.
Yes, I was.
Not every week.
Every week when we
You've
lost.
had a few
you must
extended
have some
trips
kind of
where you weren't
amnesia,
around.
yeah.
But
well, you was at the game on Saturday.
He's literally trying to come.
So,
you're going to wind me up today. You know that.
Talk to me about the game overall first, before we get to the.
Would you like to go first?
You go first.
You're very salty.
No, I want to talk to you. Let's
Okay.
start with you because you was at the game. So overall, tell us about the game. Your thoughts on it?
Look, in my opinion, Curtis Jones, that's a red card all day long. I'm sure Alex might try and argue different, but it was a red card in my opinion. I thought first 20 minutes, quite open. Liverpool obviously had a few chances. But I didn't feel like we were under it. I thought we started all right. Obviously the red card changes things a little bit. But what I find with Tottenham, and maybe just any team that ends up going down to 10 men or 9 men, sometimes it's actually harder to play against a team that has less men, which is a weird thing to say. But once you're defending so tightly and deeply, it's quite difficult to break them down. But I thought we were all right. Obviously, they went... we went 1-0 up, didn't we? And then you equalised just before half-time.
Well, we went 1-0 up, actually.
Yes, you did. Yeah. You did. Again, it's not Tottenham's fault that they are incapable of drawing lines in VAR. But I'll leave that for Al.
Yeah.
As the game went on, it was one of those things that I just felt like, if we don't win this game, we are never going to break this bock that they've got over us. And I do feel like maybe in the crowd, after the Jota sending off, I felt like we were a little bit tense because I thought the atmosphere was very good. And then it was just a little bit tense towards the end because we thought to ourselves, oh my God, how are we not going to win this?
Yeah,
huge opportunity. 9 men, how are you not going to do it? And then obviously we take Son off around 64 minutes or something because he's carrying a little bit. And I think that what we can see for us, and I saw it against Arsenal as well, that when you take off Maddison, when you take off Son, we are lacking the quality up front. Brennan Johnson obviously wasn't fit. Manor Solomon came on. Richarlison moved into the middle. I think Richarlison's actually very good out on the wing. I think he had a decent game. But just down the middle, I can just see with Tottenham, when you take out a few players, Sarr, Basuma, we are left with a very thin squad with a bit of a lack of quality, I would say. So that is something that we definitely are going to have to address in January, because then we're kind of back to what we had last season with Højbjerg and Skip in midfield, and it's a bit rigid. But overall, it's difficult to say because obviously they had 2 sending offs. But I was more than happy with what I saw from Tottenham.
And a real last-minute winner. The place.
It's lovely. It's amazing.
Went ballistic, didn't it?
Went unreal. And I have to say, Vicario for me, another great performance. He's been really good in goals since coming in. Mickey van der Ven, I think he's a brilliant defender. Got his pace about him as well when he needs to. Really competent, so young as well. I thought Destiny, wonderful. Wonderful performance as ever. I can't really fault them at the minute. I'm very impressed with Tottenham and what I'm seeing. And they fight till the end. And that's what I've always wanted to see.
All smiles over here. Not too happy. I saw you on the stream. You spent half of it facing that way. You know what I mean?
I couldn't believe what I was watching, Robbie. It was disgusting.
Talk to me about the game.
First of all,
let's just say, right? The red card for Curtis Jones, and we're doing a poll on it at the moment. Was that a red card or was it not? At the moment, 55% of people are saying yes, it was. 45% saying no. Did you think that was a red card?
I thought it was a red card. I think the thing I didn't like, though, was the lack of context shown to the on-field referee. He went to the screen and they paused it at the moment of impact, where there's a lot more about the story. If you're going to ask me, let me finish, Rob.
No, but what difference does it make if they got the decision right?
Shouts over people.
I didn't shout. I just asked the question.
If you play the whole clip, you can clearly see, and again, there's screenshots of like that, for example, where he's getting the ball and then obviously the studs and the momentum roll over, and it's a really high, dangerous tackle in the end. I'm cool with that being a red card. I really am.
So
early in the game.
Let me just ask you for going back, right? So if you're cool with it being a red card, because he was very unlucky, I felt as well. Yeah. You are right. It's like the momentum carries his foot over. He didn't deliberately mean to do it, but it is a red card, right?
Yeah.
But you've just started talking about processes and that. They got it right on that, didn't they?
But I've just said,
Yeah, so why do you need to talk about...
But there's a lot more other decisions that weren't right, wasn't there?
Oh, we'll talk about those then.
Okay, you going to let me...
No, I was just
take
baffled.
The floor, or...
I was just baffled by that one, because you said it's the right decision, but then you're talking about you didn't like the process of how they got to it. They got to the right decision.
You can still be, in the end, pretty obvious that it was a red card, but I just didn't like the way that he goes over and they haven't shown him from start to finish the full clip. It's just the end product, which again... swings and roundabouts. We've had them given against us. We've had them not given against us. That one for us, obviously, I thought 25 minutes in, we were well on top of Tottenham. I think it's obviously disrupted us massively. We've had to change what we were going to do. And again, that changes how Tottenham play, because they're looking at us going, right, they're going to be a lot more compact now. How do we break the lines? And obviously, going down to 9 men, we had to... I think our formation was 5-3 in the end, which I've never even seen. Listen, the first one... The first one where Udogie kind of runs past him, he clearly kicks himself and then does that to the referee. Udogie was also on a yellow card at the time. McAllister got a yellow card for the exact same thing the other week against Chelsea. So again, is there consistency there?
First yellow,
no, I totally agree. It wasn't a yellow, but I would counteract that with...
The second one was 100% a yellow.
No, what I was going to counteract that with, in the first half, when you got the free kick, which inevitably led to your goal, Udogie got the ball. It wasn't a booking. It wasn't a foul.
Well, Gakpo's going to be injured for weeks because of that tackle on him, where his ankle goes right under Udogie and it slips away. But anyway, let's go back to the first key moment of the game, which is the goal. 63 centimetres onside that was. Now, again, this isn't me having to go at Tottenham. This is definitely aimed at the official. I actually don't blame Tottenham for any of what happened, because, as Matt Turner said, it's a dogfight out there. There's heat at the moment. You're going to get exchanges. But the referees, and I've said everything on the COP TV with Doyle, but the statement they put out, which is the 14th statement they've put out apologising, Robbie. And what I don't want people to now do is make this, look at Liverpool crying, because every VAR apology listed, there's Man United Arsenal, where Martinelli's goal was fine, Newcastle Palace, Chelsea West Ham, Palace Villa. Take it way back, the Sheffield United goal that went in at Villa, that would have actually kept them up in the Premier League, so the repercussions are massive. Palace Brighton Liverpool, we escaped where we should have got a red card. Fabinho only got a yellow card. Villa United, Forest Brentford. These are all apologies recently. Obviously, the Tottenham one, the Wolves one we saw last week. Or a couple of weeks ago, Tottenham Brighton, where Højbjerg fouls Matoma. Everton City, where Rodri handballs it. We could have potentially won the league from that decision. And Arsenal Brentford as well, where Ivan Toney's offside equaliser was allowed to stand. So it's got to the point now, Robbie, where not only is the game being, or the integrity of the game is being compromised when you hear of referees who were involved in this game on Sunday or in the UAE on Thursday, sanctified by Howard Webb. They've taken obviously a nice pay for that. But then obviously UAE own Man City, so is there a conflict of interest there? That's the question that I think a lot of Liverpool fans are asking as well. Well, Man City's owner Sheikh Mansour is the Vice President and Deputy Prime Minister of the UAE, who paid the refs to officiate in the UAE 48 hours before.
If a ref goes on holiday to America, then
but is the owner a Vice President of the country? Is the owner the Vice President of the country?
Come on, that's a little bit.
So again, you can ask for transparency. The audio played into the grounds. I know Gary Neville and the commentators, they get that audio fed into them in the gantry. That would obviously give a lot more transparency in terms of decision making. Semi-automated offsides. I think we saw how well they worked in the World Cup. That needs to be brought in. VAR specialists, these guys that are in the VAR room, clear communication breakdown. We're hearing that Darren England said, correct decision, it should be a goal. The referee puts his whistles to his mouth, then Tottenham take the throw, which if someone had a bit of common sense, they'd say, Simon, just wait, we're checking, it should be a goal, give the goal. Because I think the confusion was he thought that, so the Lino gave it offside, even though it was 63 centimetres onside. And then that on-field decision is offside. Darren England has then gone, yep, correct decision, but he's thinking that the ref thought it was a goal. So it's just a mad communication breakdown, which just can't go on. But I think in general, I have to say I'm so proud of the players for holding on and putting a good shift in at the end. Like I said, it was a 5-3 formation. The amount of crosses that went into the box that we dealt with, the passes that would trickle onto Alisson, who had an incredible game as well, by the way. What a guy. It's actually his birthday today. He's 31 today. Ridiculous. So shout out to him. The way he saved that one from Maddison, and it was a left-footed shot from Maddison. He's so good on either foot. But it's a full stretch, and then Son a couple of minutes later. And then as the game wears on...
just today, do you feel... I mean, it's a last-minute goal by Tottenham that wins it.
Yeah.
It was actually by Liverpool that won it.
It was by Liverpool.
But by last-minute goal, own goal by Matip. Do you feel a bit... I mean, I've seen today, like, some suggestions saying that the game should be replayed.
That's not going to happen.
But do you think that would be justified to replay that game because it was such a horrendous mistake? Because Abby, you got lucky, didn't you? Let's be real.
Very lucky. Very lucky.
When I think about it, right, it's like what he described there, right? Why couldn't they just stop the game? Why couldn't when the referee when the VAR?
Because you can see he's about to do it.
When the VAR saying. No, it should be a goal. What are you doing? Stop. Why couldn't they just stop the game?
That's the question.
I don't understand why they couldn't have just stopped the game and gave the goal. And if that goal does go in and it's 1-0, that does make a difference, does it? You see in a lot of Premier League games, the team that scores first, I think there's statistics around it, is that they don't normally lose the game.
When we go ahead, our record is very good.
But they don't normally... I mean, I was at a game, you was at that game as well yesterday, right? The Arsenal-Liverpool game, the ladies, WSL, where Arsenal absolutely dominated the game, but they conceded a goal and they ended up losing 1-0. So do you think there should be shouts to replay that game?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Why not?
Because then we're going to start saying this about every game where VAR has fucked something up.
No, but this is a horrendous mistake.
But that's not the fault of Tottenham Hotspur.
It's not your fault, but it's
not Tottenham's fault.
It's affected
that
the game,
officiating isn't correct. It's then like saying, okay, well, let's go 4 years back to the Champions League final for a penalty that was never a penalty, and the rules were changed a week later. Should we replay that? Should Tottenham get a Champions League?
Definitely not.
No,
because you lost it fair and square.
How far do you want to go back?
You didn't lose that game 1-0, by the way.
No,
you lost it 2-0.
But that happened in the first 30 seconds of a Champions League final. Completely killed the game.
But didn't you also just admit that the rules changed after? Therefore, at the time, it was a handball.
Because it was an incorrect rule.
You can go back 4 years. I'm trying to.
It was an incorrect rule.
What Abby's failing to recognise is this is for the greater good of the game. It's not just anti-Liverpool.
If this was the other way round, and let's say
I'd be saying the same thing.
We were down to 9 men. Would you be saying, yeah, let's replay the game? Of course you wouldn't.
But I've just said it's not going to get replayed, and the 2 red cards
put them to the side. We're talking about the goal. Should it be replayed?
It's not going to get replayed.
No, if it could, do you think, right? Whether you think it's going to happen or not, do you think that was such a significant thing that happened in the game that it should be replayed?
If it ended 1-1, would you want it replayed?
No,
of course
because the game's a game. It is what it is.
The game.
They've made a mistake.
But that's what we're saying. This isn't the game.
Yeah,
These mistakes can't be the game.
We've got 3 points at the end of the day. It is what it is. There are games where Arsenal probably shouldn't have had 3 points. Liverpool shouldn't have had 3 points. United, we could go on and go on and go on. Are we
just accepting this?
No,
now
I think moving forward something has to change.
What do you think should change?
I think that VAR has always been a problem. I think since it's come in, when we initially saw it come in for the Champions League years ago, I felt like it was along the right lines. And we sit here every single week talking about how bad VAR is, how bad the officials are. We've said it so many times every single season. I said it here about the Sheffield game. I'd never seen officiating like it. It was absolutely awful. And granted, this week was probably worse. It was worse.
So then do you deserve them points then?
Yeah, I don't believe that VAR...
Hold on, you just said it was...
You're contradicting yourself.
I'm not contradicting myself.
Bad.
It is particularly bad, but that's not at the fault of the team. Tottenham don't make the decisions.
But you've benefited. You seriously benefited.
There are so many games where you've benefited, where City have benefited, where every team benefits.
But when it happens to you, it's all right, is what she's saying.
No,
basically.
but it's not. But it happens to you, and sometimes you don't talk about it.
You said it before the show that he's whining, right?
Yeah, he's whining.
Would you be whining like he is if it had been the other way around?
Let me give you some historics, shall I?
Back in history, it's like Arsenal fan.
All right. Jota on Skip last season, no red. Don't even think he got
Skip should have got sent off as well.
Skip should have got sent off.
So is that there as well, or just biased
from last
ones?
season where it wasn't even? I don't even think he got booked for it.
Skip should have. So Skip shouldn't have been
sent off.
What,
the boot in the head? Sorry, that's
not.
I
like the way she's covered their evidence.
Okay, that's not.
Right.
So that's not a red card.
Up as well. Would you like me to get mine up?
Well, you can. They apologised for the Kane one on Robertson. Is that what you're referring to?
No bother. Just bear with me 1 sec. I'll grab that for you.
Sure.
I'll grab that for you. This is Robertson studs up as well. Also,
but she's not showing the Kane studs up on Robertson. The skip on Diaz. It's just very biased.
Not a red.
It's very biased, Robbie.
Jota, that's also somehow not a red card.
I think it is a red card. So what's your point? That one is impossible because you got the goal. They actually rewarded this goal. So
that one in lockdown.
Yeah.
But you got the goal, Abby. That's totally irrelevant.
Onto so-called rules change.
But Abby, you got the goal. So why are you using that one? Why are you using that one? Why are you using that one? You got the goal.
Robbie, it's a receipts.
That was just the ones I could do off the top of my head.
What we'll do is we'll rip them up. Because the Sun one, you got the goal.
All right,
so
there's another. I've got a compilation. Or would you like me to read? Would you like me to read this one that I sent to Rob earlier? Let me just get it up. Let me just get it up.
Take your time.
There is a whole thread here on how VAR has benefited Liverpool.
Okay.
Look at how long this thread is. You cost Chelsea a trophy there, Paul Matisse. This one. Perfectly legal goal disallowed in the Champions League final.
It's actually a copyright claim by showing that.
Oh, it's a copyright claim. It's a copyright
claim. Going to get us striked.
Oh, it's okay.
Yeah.
It's all right.
It won't be okay when we all lose our job.
Champions League. Darwin Núñez dive. That was given a penalty against Fulham. Okay. Fabinho survived a red card after that one.
Already said that one.
Oh,
yeah,
Liverpool.
that's there. City robbed of 3 points here.
So the Rodri handball, all right, we can do all this. We can do all this. As long as you want, we can do this.
I just think that sometimes you have to just hold it. It's not right what happened, but you have to hold it.
Okay.
The fault is that VAR and referees can't do it.
That's what I said.
So I don't. Liverpool sometimes do have the nickname Liverpool. A lot of decisions have gone for you.
Which proves that the original decision was wrong, does it not? So they've turned it over to award us because the original decision was wrong. Is that not what VAR is? I'm confused.
Would you get rid of VAR?
No, I'd get rid of the people controlling VAR. Because we saw how well it worked at the World Cup. There's no excuses why we haven't taken the semi-automated offsides, why we haven't got external experts in to actually deal with the VAR. It's got to a point now where I am going to have to hold it because nothing's going to happen because of it. Now, we've put out a statement. Arsenal fans in the edit suite there, they were saying we like that. It shows, we're not just going to allow this to happen. And again, I'll make it again. the point again in the press conference after. Klopp didn't just say this is just a Liverpool thing. He said every single club, including Tottenham, including Manchester United. I mean, Hwang, who scored the winner against City, he elbowed someone in the face. Should he have been on the pitch? The Rodri handball, we can write notes and make
hold on.
stuff up. That should have been a penalty.
I think the thing for me, right, this is my opinion on it, right? I think the thing for me on that one on Saturday is some of the other ones you've spoken about are subjective. You know what I mean?
But when it's factually onside, you can't. It's hard to take. It's so hard to take.
Right? And I was on the end, with Arsenal. We were on the end of one like that last year where it was Lee Mason who after that ended up resigning, remember, right? Because he's under so much pressure.
And then he's come back, by the way.
He has sort of come
back.
So that
just sums everything up.
And literally, he said he forgot to draw the lines. And if he'd have drawn the lines, he would have seen that the Brentford goal was offside.
That's a sackable offence, man.
And that cost us 2 points in that game. I can see where the anger's from in this one because it's quite obviously a terrible decision. I don't blame the on-field referee because you're saying you can see 60-odd centimetres on side, but you know what it's like, even when you're at a game sometimes. Like I remember the other day at Arsenal, right, that Anthony one, I was right, sort of the side of it. I was like, that's miles offside. As it turned out, it was offside, but it was just close. To the naked eye, it looked like it was, but when players sometimes they bend their run and things like that, it's very hard to tell with the naked eye. That's why VAR is there to help the officials. And they've let them down. They've let the official down on the pitch, right?
Well,
because
that
was offside. It should have been. It was onside. It should have been given a goal. And then who knows?
You know what happens?
Who knows what happens?
And again,
after
it's
that.
like the Cucurella hair pull last season. Does Tuchel lose his job?
100%.
If that Tottenham
They've
don't get away with that
the
this year.
I'm not disputing anything you're saying. What I think we see it implemented so well in the World Cup, Women's World Cup, even in other sports, rugby. Wherever they have a video assistant referee, it is implemented very well. Apart from in the Premier League.
And I agree with what Alex is saying, right? In the VAR thing. I said it. I was doing a video earlier on with Ty. I said, just put some nerds in there, right? No disrespect to nerds. Just put some. You get some people that they're unbelievable analytically, that are just cold.
Get James in there.
Put James in there because you don't. The thing is about it, right? Is that even referees being in there again. This is a situation maybe where that referee at Stockley Park's thinking, I should really call and halt this game. It's going to look bad on them on the pitch. They're going to get a load of stick from the Tottenham fans.
Yeah.
But you need
we've
cold.
Also seen Mike Dean saying he protects his mates in podcasts.
Mike Dean the other day, I didn't want my mate to get, you know what I mean?
Thing,
how are they allowed to get away with this every week?
After Mike Dean has made those comments about the fact that he... even the Cucurella one, which we were talking about, if he's made those comments and said the reason he didn't send it to VAR was because he didn't want to have the stick, that... For me, that means that should be
sacking.
But that should be an investigation, should it not? Into the referees,
suspended and an investigation.
Because that you are not doing your job. If that's what you're doing, I get it. We all have mates, but in that moment where it's a game-changing thing, you're not going to do that because of your mate. I mean, that's your job. That is your job. And there should have probably been an investigation into it after those comments were made.
Yeah.
And I totally agree that with VAR there, it shouldn't even be down to human error. You can have a human error, like, don't get me wrong, it's life. But the whole point of VAR was to minimise or take away the impact of a human error. And if not, we sit here every week talking about officials.
Can I ask you both quickly?
So hold on, let me do a few super chats. There's a load coming in. Al Black says, how about the EPL bringing refs from abroad?
I've always said
Tom
that.
says, Abby has gone full tie with bringing up the pass. Arba says, Abby has more sheets than Tottenham has trophies. Last King says, 8923. Last King 8923 says, so basically, if VAR wasn't there, Tottenham would have won anyway. Because of the refs' decisions. Stephen Seddon,
don't know about that.
Says, use automated lines like they did in the World Cup. It's a joke. I don't know why they refused to use that. 7FC says, question, AGT, if Liverpool had won, would you still want it replayed?
But we didn't win. So what's the
but
point?
He's asking you a scenario.
So hang on, how
they
would we have won?
I don't know, he's just asking.
I don't get that question.
He's just asking a scenario. Ibby says VAR is not the problem. Refs are not using it properly. Uncle Mad said he's doing all this now. Why wasn't he doing this before when it happened to their teams? I recall him saying no excuses when it happened to us.
What?
I think he's having a pop at you there, Uncle Mad.
Who's us?
It looks like he's an Arsenal fan there.
Have you not just listened to all the things I've read out?
He's saying Arsenal... at the time. You're reading those out now, but were you reading those out at the time? Miss Jackson says, AGT going into the realm of extreme conspiracy theories here. I bet he believes that if you do not take a vaccine, you should not take a vaccine and the earth is flat and the moon landing is fake.
Believe all those things, my friend. You're right. Spot on.
Nicholas Walker says, what do Liverpool fans actually want? VAR isn't going. You won't get a rematch. You won't get an apology. No, sorry, you got an apology. Football is flawed. Dry them salty tears and accept that the world doesn't revolve around you.
See, this is the exact thing that I thought would happen by Liverpool standing up and being counted for and standing against what is clearly an incompetent institution in the PGMOL. Now, my question to you is... Sorry,
Vince's viewpoint says, please read Mark Halsey's statement. Dominic THFC85 says, jot a kung fu kick skip last season.
Should have been a red card.
Zane94 says, Ange is a hypocrite. Last week he was complaining about a handball that was clearly a pen.
Facts as well.
And this week he's saying that he understands that mistakes happened.
What would you like Ange to do? Just out of curiosity, what would you like him to say? Oh no, sorry mate, here, have the 3 points.
No, obviously he's never going to say that. What he should have said is it was a goal.
Stephen Gunnar Jacobs says
there was a mistake.
Good day guys from Melbourne. I stayed up late waiting for my favourite show. Big up to Alex. It was a strong performance by Liverpool.
Really was.
I'm worried as an Arsenal fan, to be honest. And Samuel says, I'm always impressed about how Abby cooks Matisse, even nutmegging him on IG. Poor guy Matisse. Joshua says the offside was wrong, but Liverpool have had these before and they didn't cry. They didn't cry then. Isak last season at Anfield, onside, but brushed over. Oh, yeah.
It was actually offside, that one, factually.
Miss Jackson says, embarrassing statement from Liverpool. Forever, no, I'm not going to say that. Come up with solutions, not escalation. Be mature adults. Funny that it happened to LFC. AGT, hold that.
Thanks for watching.
Wooksy says, Anthony... No, I'm not going to do that one. You're not going to try to get me in trouble.
Yeah, well, come on, man.
Hi, Robbie. Massive win for Arsenal. Say hello to Ty. Mitch says, VAR isn't the problem. Even without VAR in that game, the Lionel gave it offside anyway. Well, this is what it's been bought in for. Chip41 says the racial abuse that Idoji
also, yeah,
is disgusting.
Thank you for bringing that
when
up.
Liverpool going to take account of their bigoted fan base, virtue signalling. And then Robbie and Abby, relax. We scored 2 goals with 10 men away from home against 12 men.
One of them was for you.
I gave him your credit.
We'll finish
I gave you your credit. I said you played well.
If Liverpool want the game replayed, we want the Champions League replayed, says Azad.
No games are getting replayed.
Liverpool, that they call that for a reason. Keep crying, don't care, mate.
You care enough to send in a super chat.
I can't wait for the return leg.
Thanks for the money.
Says McLovin. He says, YNW, I think that return game is going to be big. Love seeing Doyle cry, said Sevens SC. COYS. Liverpool humbled. Renzo says, someone check on Doyle if he's still crying.
I was with him yesterday. He's good.
Guna says, they need a Jorginho gift, 2 red cards, VAR controversy, and 96 own goals to grab 4 points.
Big facts.
And 6. And they celebrate like they won the Premier League.
If that's coming from a Gooner, you better be quiet.
Todd Miller says, as a Chelsea fan, I love seeing Liverpool fans cry, but it's shambolic. VAR not knowing what they're checking. The PGMOL is an absolute disgrace. Too much money to allow
15
this to
million
happen
they get paid,
in the Premier
by the way,
League.
PGMOL.
Kennedy says AGT, hold at L. LG, it's loads of them. LG Brown says AGT, I think Liverpool are right to possibly sue. I think about it, you guys lost the title by 1 point. Sheffield United got relegated because of them. They need to mic them up. They need to go to Saudi, he says.
They'll get exposed though, so they won't want that.
Who's going to lose first, Arsenal or Spurs, says Believer MUFC. Eloise says Liverpool fans shouting corruption is hilarious. No team in the Premier League has benefited more from VAR's implementation than then. HM says VAR should go. VAR should be enhanced with 3D offside system as it worked in the World Cup. Refs need to be better, need better training. Alex says, AGT is so salty, I bet you weren't complaining when Liverpool got the rigged penalty in the Champions League final. And Joshua says, AGT just said Isak's goal was factually offside.
It was given offside, wasn't it?
To be on when the lines were incorrect. Howe was told it was wrong. You only care when it's you. And
Clearly
Stephen
not,
Laguna
because I've
says,
just read out all the
reckon
examples of when other
stand
teams
together
haven't.
against the PGMOL and push towards the automated
See, that's
VAR.
the question I was about to
That is
ask
a lot
you.
of super chats I've just got through there.
That was the question I was going to ask you. So you've seen Liverpool's statement, which is we want transparency, and in the statement it says all clubs, every club in the Premier League. So we're basically saying, guys, are you with us? We're going to try and get these guys investigated at the very least.
What, for overall? Yeah, of course.
Okay.
But every club should be. Because
Well, I don't see why you wouldn't be, because it benefits every club. If everyone is singing off the same hymn sheet, and I think the biggest problem is that no one actually knows what a rule is. Because
Are they whining too much, though?
1 week it's something else, 1 week it's not. For example, even the Romero one, you know, the penalty that's given against you, not given in the United game.
Are they whining
It's just
too
having
much?
about what, this weekend? No, I fully understand it.
Okay.
I do understand it.
It's justified, isn't it? Because
so
you got
you're
away
with
with
us in the fight against, you know, having an institution like that carries on making these same mistakes.
I don't think you can say it's like we got away with one, because it wasn't like a one-off decision in the game.
No, but you did get away with one. You would have been 1-0
we
down.
had to score a goal with 9 men, 8 outfield players on the pitch, and Pedro Porres taking his shirt off. That's a yellow. You've got what's his name, Basuma, bringing his kid on the pitch as if they have won a trophy, which they haven't. It's just mad.
Honestly, cry at home.
That's what they
Cry
wanted to
at
take.
home. Cry
That's
at
what they. That's what they
Cry
needed
at home.
after
You know
7
what?
years to get a result.
I'm going to move it on.
If that's what it is, then hold
Cry
it.
at home.
Cry at the Emirates, where you were working yesterday as a
Cry
Tottenham
at
fan.
home.
So
There were
talk
some-
about integrity.
Cry at home.
She was working for Arsenal yesterday, so
Cry at home.
cry at the Emirates,
Cry
love,
at home.
where you normally cry. So,
Cry at home. Should we move on?
and if
I think we better move.
got you
I think
there.
we better move on. This is starting to get a bit, you know.
We're lucky we do love each other, really.
We're lucky we've known each other 25 years.
Right,
do you know what I mean?
Wolves 2, Manchester City 1. Now I was at the Bournemouth game, yeah.
Yes.
And like when they went 1-0 up, Wolves, this guy turned around and goes, mate, Robbie, Wolves winning 1-0. I go, yeah, mate, don't waste my time, man. You know it's going to end up 5-1 or something like that. Then it went 1-1. I go, I told you. He goes, yeah. But then for it to finish 2-1, and Wolves played excellently on the day, and wow, what an achievement by Gary O'Neill doing it again there. And I was saying to the
honestly.
Bournemouth guys, why did you guys let this guy go? You know, they've been very unlucky this season, Wolves. They were very unlucky against Manchester United. I felt they were a bit unlucky against you guys as well, remember?
They had a great first half
Cunha,
against us.
if that header, that would have made it 2-0. And I think they finally got their rewards. And that's an incredible result for them, wasn't it?
It was, but shout out to that Korean guy. The disrespect that Pep Guardiola
said
gave
about-
that man
yeah.
before, for him to now come on and score the winner. If I'm really honest, he should have been sent off with the elbow, because even if you look at his face, he kind of goes, oh shit, I'm going to be in trouble here. But for him to score the winner, it was kind of, I wouldn't say justice, because again, if we're being fair here, he shouldn't have been on the pitch, but it was almost as if that insult before the
Full
game
referee
was written for him to score the winner.
Wouldn't have mentioned that last week.
No, never.
But now all of a sudden he's
Hot on
scrutinising
it.
every referee decision now.
But you have to give them massive respect, and Gary O'Neill has to really get his flowers now, because not only should he not have been sacked at Bournemouth, I thought he did a brilliant job at Bournemouth. He's also been so unlucky with decisions like the penalty at Man United that they should have had. For him to actually go out and beat Man City, every single one of us on the Saturday Football Show predicted a 3-0, a 3-1 to City. And I have to say, well done to Wolves. And now that's 2 losses in a row for City. They now go away to Arsenal on Sunday with no Rodri.
Yeah, I mean, the
Mentally, how are they,
without
you know?
Rodri, they didn't quite look the same, did they?
No.
They don't.
It looks like that has made a bit of. I mean, even though they did still do the City thing in the first half, where I saw the first half stats, they'd had about 13 shots, right? And Wolves had no shots, but they were still winning 1-0 because it was an own goal.
Own goal, yeah.
Great run by Neto.
What a player, by the way.
He's excellent.
What a player,
He's
man.
excellent.
Yeah, I think we know the City. Obviously, they were 100% up until the weekend in the Premier League. But I think we all know that City tend to not start off that strong.
Yeah.
And then obviously once it gets to crunch time and Christmas, then they really click into gear. So I don't think we can read like too much into the fact that, you know, they lost to Newcastle and they lost to Wolves. But I do think obviously no Rodri, as you mentioned, coming to the Emirates, that does put maybe a bit more pressure on them from an outside perspective. I don't know whether or not they would feel the pressure. I think they still think, you know, we're treble winners. We're going to go to there and get a win. And like you can have the odd result that does look like that. And City do actually tend to have the odd result that does look like that for them. But I don't think it will play that much on their mind. But I think without Rodri, it definitely allows you, in terms of Arsenal, a greater chance of getting something.
You worried about
But then
that?
there might be a couple injuries for Arsenal as well. Is Saka going to be fit for that game?
You worried that if Rodri's not playing now, we could get something out of that
It's
game?
not the best, but you know, I still back City.
Right, on the FairPlay, right? You know, we was talking earlier on about the FairPlay app, right? Which you guys got to download in it, right? Use the promo code AFC, right? Me and Abby have done a bet. Right?
Oh, what's this?
So Abby is saying she's betting that Arsenal are going to lose against Manchester City,
Of course.
right? And you know she's praying for that.
She is basically
Down
a
on
City
her
fan
knees,
part-time,
praying
isn't
like
she?
what she
Part-time.
does, right? I'm betting that Arsenal are not going to lose that game, right? They're not going to lose that game.
Oh, so you're sitting on the fence, yeah.
I was saying they're not going to lose
Splinter.
that game, right?
Back your
So,
team. Back
right,
your team, Rob.
if you
Come on.
use-
Say with your chest, say you're going to win it. Back your team.
We're going to win the game.
There we go. Thank you.
Right, so
We've got it. That's all
you
we
guys as well, right? You can join as well. Use the promo code AFC when you're signing up to be entered into this £5 bet. Arsenal to win or draw against Manchester City, right? So you can bet against Abby. Yeah, she's had enough luck this week, man. You know what I mean?
I need to tell you about that. I lost on the weekend. Everton
Everton,
cost me my whole bet
Listen,
this weekend.
I told you, man.
Everton,
You can't rely
right?
on them waste, man.
They
I
did
told
us-
you,
I
bro.
hope they go down. now.
We do that last man standing
I've been
here, and
saying
I'm
this
like,
for
Everton,
weeks.
Luton at home, they've got to win, and they let me down. We'll
Who
come
did
to
I?
that.
I think I went Newcastle this week.
But you'll also, again, be entered into that draw where you can win a Lionel Messi 2022 World Cup
Did he wear
shirt.
it, Rob? This shirt? Can we get confirmation
He
on that?
I don't
Has he got his
know.
sweat
I don't
on
know
it?
confirmation if he's got his
Be
sweat
worth
on
a
it.
few quid.
But it's a Lionel Messi shirt for the 2022 World Cup. So make sure you get involved right now. The other big shock of the weekend was Manchester United losing at
Was that
home
a shock?
to Crystal Palace. It was a shock because I saw the game during the week, right, where Crystal Palace were absolutely
Dreadful.
awful. They got torn apart by Man United. It could have been more than 3-0 that when they lost that game. But now I realise that Roy Hodgson is a cunning guy because what he said is, what we do, we go out there, right, and play absolute rubbish.
Bluff them.
Right, and we're going to trick Manchester United. We're going to make them think that we're absolute garbage, right? And then on the weekend, we're going to turn up. And that's exactly what they did. And it was another poor performance by Manchester United. And you don't normally see them lose at home. I mean, they've had a
2 in a row.
brilliant record at home. But now a defeat at home as well. And that was a bad defeat. I mean, do we start questioning Ten Hag now? I'm
think-
asking this on. I'm starting to ask this.
I think we should have been questioning him already. I saw Flex's fan cam outside the ground. I was going to call him and say, bro, you're not looking happy. Are you all right? I was worried for his mental health. He was looking down in the dumps. But I think when you look at the players that he has at his disposal, you should not be losing, in all respect, at home to Brighton and Crystal Palace in 2 games in a row. Yes, Amrabat came on at left back. He was inverting. Yes, they've got a whole bunch of injuries. But instead of talking about how bad
But
they
a lot
were...
of them injured players are back now.
Yeah, well, that
Rand's
makes
back,
it even
you know
worse.
what I mean?
But what I was going to say is
Mount's
instead
back.
of talking about how bad United were, I'm going to credit Crystal Palace. They almost pump faked them into thinking they were going to get another 3-0 win, United. But the goal itself for a centre-back to be
Great goal.
scoring goals like that,
yeah.
what a strike from
So
Anderson.
good.
It caught Onana really off guard because I think he hit it a bit early. And we did the game on the Saturday Football Show. There was no kind of other real threats from Crystal Palace, but credit to Roy Hodgson. Really have to credit him, man. In terms of, I saw other fan channels saying he's going home to have his milk. They were saying he's so old he's going to be dead at full time. I mean, that's just
Ridiculous.
disrespectful. You know, the guy is in his 70s.
76.
Yeah,
Imagine
unbelievable.
anyone taking on that job and
I
doing
know.
it at 76.
I know.
And
Give
doing
him
a great
some
job.
flowers, give him his respect.
And doing a great job as well,
100%
right?
shout out to
Ageism
him.
in that, and he's,
Yeah.
you know, it was a fantastic win.
I also think, to be fair, Man United should have had a penalty for a handball. But again...
Oh, he's a ref watch again. I know.
You should do that as a new segment.
Yeah,
Ref watch.
we can do it.
He never, ever... Robbie, especially when it comes to Manchester United, he would never, if this weekend had not happened, there is no way on this earth
if that's your
you would be saying that Manchester United, of all clubs, would have had a penalty as a Liverpool fan, right? But because of what happened to you now, all of a sudden you're honest.
I'm just saying.
You're honest.
They should have.
Can we introduce that every week?
That's fair though, isn't it?
Ref watch.
I'm happy to do ref watch.
Okay.
I'm cool with it. But yeah, credit to Crystal Palace. They came and won, and that's 2 defeats at home in a row now for United. And the questions will start now, Robbie. If they lose at home to Galatasaray tomorrow, I reckon that door could be opening for his exit before Christmas.
So do we think so soon, though, with Ten Hag? When you think about the other things that maybe been off-field that he's had to contend with, I'm not saying the Sancho situation is helpful at the moment at all, especially if he's going to bring Anthony back in.
Their worst Premier League start for, I think,
since the 70s.
But the only thing I would say is, obviously, I know the injuries are back now, but they have had a bit of a torrid time with that. And
but a lot of teams have had injuries, Abby.
They have, but also the stuff that's gone off the pitch
look
as well.
Look at the injuries. Look at the injuries Man City have had.
Yes.
Look at the injuries Arsenal have had. Look at the injuries of the...
It is distracting to have the stuff that's going on off the pitch. It does tend
but when you take that job, it's like us saying, did Boris do such a good job with Brexit and COVID? No, that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to manage these situations accordingly. I don't think he's got every situation right. I think he's got most of them right. But now the questions are, how is that dressing room feeling? Does he have full control, trust and belief of his own squad in that dressing room? I don't think he does.
Do you think the dressing room are behind him?
Not 100%.
I agree with
And as soon as it slips from... Because you know Ange, right? They're 100% behind him. They're blindly 100% behind Klopp, whatever he does. That's when you know success can come on the pitch once that happens. As soon as you start slipping into... There's a little group over there, 2 lads who don't like me. They're not playing. They're ganging up on me a little bit. He's been injured. He's slagging me off. He's not apologising to me. He's in Brazil due to other factors. The Greenwood situation, the Ronaldo situation. There's definitely... Maguire, can't trust him 100%. There's fractions within the camp there where you think that could grow, you know? And I think by Christmas, it would be surprising to see him still there if the results carry on.
Who do you think potentially goes first?
Actually, somebody said here, Mamo, he says, if Ten Hag got sacked, who should get the job?
Well, my question was going to say, let's say that Chelsea, obviously we don't know what's going to happen, they're playing tonight, but let's say that Chelsea continues the way they're going and he gets sacked and Ten Hag gets sacked. Do you think United take a punt on Poch?
But then...
swap.
But you're just swapping a manager with a manager who
United have
you're
always
not
been
really believing
in Poch, but never ended up pulling the trigger.
But if he gets sacked by Chelsea, why would you want him to manage you?
Just curious.
You know?
She's loving this, isn't it? Just curious. This person actually, by the way, Kennedy Lloyd says, Abby's so shameless. I love her. Right? Ten Hag is an empty pot making too much noise, says Miss Jackson. D. Ricky 13 says, if Spurs win the league, Abby goes on a date with my bro. Deal. Because I know we're winning the league. LJ Brown says United got to hit harder than Crucial Robbie's album. And another one here. Oops. I know I didn't get to that one. Let's move on to Arsenal.
Great performance.
Another win for Arsenal. 4-0 away at Brentford. I keep saying that Brentford because we played them during the week. At Bournemouth. I was at the game. And yeah, I have to say, it was a very, very comfortable win. I mean... You know, normally, you're even though you're winning, you're like, I don't know, man. Arsenal bought.
No, you're always going to win that game.
2-0 up a couple of times. But that one was very comfortable. At no time did I feel that Bournemouth were going to come back into it. They've got a few problems there. They need to start getting some wins. They haven't had a win yet this season. Just I think they've had 3 draws, I think it is. And... yeah, they didn't look great, but it was a very, very good performance by Arsenal. Havertz getting his first goal with a penalty. Odegaard looking good. Saka looking good. And
King Kai looking good.
Yeah. And yeah, it was Arsenal still unbeaten.
Yeah, it was a great performance. I predicted
in the Premier League.
I predicted 3 or 4-0. I didn't think that would be a difficult away trip for Arsenal. The one thing I really liked about Arsenal, and I've seen some pundits having a go at Arsenal for this, fantastic management, leadership skills shown by Martin Odegaard to give that penalty to Kai Havertz.
Very nice.
Wonderful.
Who's having a go at that?
Right? No, I saw ESPN, some pundits on there were saying it was unprofessional and all this
How's
stuff.
it
I totally
unprofessional?
disagree, because when you look at the confidence level of that boy and you see it being played out in front of you, Gabby's got the ball, because again, that was the second penalty taker. I thought Odegaard scored one, he'll take it. Saka was still on the pitch at that point. Gabby Jesus has got the ball like this, looking at the goal. Odegaard gives him the old speech under the hand, as they do these days, and said, bro, let's give this one to Kai. Let's boost his confidence up. Gabby, no problem with that whatsoever.
And it's 2-0.
Here you go, bro.
Yeah.
And Kai Havertz's record from the penalty spot is very good, by the way. That's another reason. But that kind of rendition of his song he got by the Arsenal fans at the end of the game, I'm actually quite happy for him, because I thought that was excellent from Arsenal. What a great opportunity.
Yeah, I also felt that. I thought the leadership, how someone could have a go at that? I thought the leadership skills showed there.
And did that come from Arteta, or was that Odegaard?
It looked to me like that was an on-field
I agree.
decision, right?
Excellent from him.
Yeah, because, you've got a guy that's getting mocked a bit, 007, 008, because he hasn't scored yet, and lift his confidence up with that. And you could see, visibly, his confidence went up after that.
He was almost scared to celebrate. It was like, and they were pushing him, like, go and enjoy your moment, bro.
I really like that. And it was a very, very good win for Arsenal, and still unbeaten. The only team unbeaten in all competitions so far.
Okay, in all comps.
All comps before you jumped in. Yeah,
what I will say,
of course, Tottenham are still
what I
unbeaten
didn't like about that game, why is Arteta leaving Saka on for that long? When he was already limping around, we saw him in the week, he got a bit of a knock. I don't like that at all, because now he's probably going to be out of the City game.
Is he injured for the City game?
I get the feeling he's all right.
Okay, just a few mind games.
Maybe it's 4D chess, but in my head,
to me, that was a knock.
Nick and Tosin were on the show, and they're saying, "Why is Arteta not take?" They were really angry with it.
Possibly he could have taken him off, but I bet any money he plays Tuesday. I just got a feeling.
So you think he'll play Tuesday and Sunday?
Tuesday,
that's mad.
I think he'll play on Tuesday, because we got Lens on Tuesday in the Champions League. If we can go to Lens and get a win there, it's a very important game for Arsenal. So I don't think, I don't know, I just got the impression it wasn't a really, really bad injury. By the way, can we get the likes up? We've been having nearly 10,000 of you consecutively watching it. Look who's just turned up. Right, glad that you could make it about, 50 minutes into the show.
Let me call out the government on your platform.
You can call out the government.
Listen,
please do it.
Listen. Elizabeth would not be proud of the lion you left behind. Yeah? Delayed. Victoria, delayed. Jubilee, I'm sure delayed. Yeah? No HS2. Scrap it, Robbie. Yeah, they can't control it. Just focus on the local communities, focus on the youth centres, and that's it. You can't handle a trade.
Get rid of the Tories, basically, yeah.
This country is finished. Your team's finished. Country's finished.
My team?
Everybody finished.
You're
finished.
How have we even allowed this guy to turn up still? He's 45 minutes late. Lateness is certainly not greatness.
He can blaze it in, man.
Shots.
He can
You're
blaze
lucky
it in.
you didn't play this weekend, bro.
I know.
Lucky.
You missed the whole war about the goal that should have been.
As you can see.
That hadn't been. Yeah, Abby came with receipts of a lot of the times when Liverpool...
She missed a few out that were quite key, but...
I did miss a few.
And he ripped it all up. He was so angry. I mean,
listen, it's a disgrace. I can't lie.
Big up.
I'd love to be shameless, but that Diaz goal was...
What a goal as well, by the way. Jeez.
It's one of the worst offsides decisions I've seen. Like, obviously, I could be petty and say Lukaku in the cup final.
She's mentioned that for you.
Yeah, so thank you very much. I appreciate that. But... even as a football fan, as a Chelsea fan, I don't really want any of them to win.
It's a dark day for football,
It's a lose-lose. It's a terrible... It's bringing the league into disrepute a little bit, because, we know the margins are very fine with City. So if you lose it by a point, 2 points, people are going to look back on this. So I think...
And that has happened to us. The Rodri handball.
And did you see the explanation?
We literally lost the league because of that.
The explanation they were talking about, they said that they gave it
which
as
is
a goal,
even worse,
and then
isn't
the
it?
communication lines were broken. I was like, I don't know, man. It's just insane.
Absolutely
shambles.
You've got a bit. LJ Brown says if Matisse Chelsea lose tonight, you're going to catch more strays than Ricky from Boys in the Hood, right?
There's a couple days in between Monday and Thursday, so we should be all right?
You are shameless, bro. You are shameless.
There's Champions League.
Not an easy game for Chelsea tonight. West London derby.
They'll lose 1-0.
You know what I mean? Away at Fulham. Fulham have been doing all right this season.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Well, they're above you.
They are. Took points off you as well.
Yeah, they did, and I have to say they were decent.
But you know what? I'm not going to say I'm not worried because I'm always worried. But I think Fulham, I saw their statistics. They were like 20th for shots, 19th for big chances created this season. So I think they have maybe more points than maybe they should. They've had tough fixtures. Most of them been away from home. They had City. They got slapped up as well. But they lost Mitrovic.
Unlucky against City though.
Yeah.
With that goal that stood.
But they're at home tonight, no?
They are, they are. They've played Luton at home, I think, as well. But listen, they've got...
So have you.
Remember when you were back?
That's your,
you are shameless.
That's your
21
only
points
win.
from 7 games. You're embarrassing, bro.
You know what the guy just said, right? Listen, did you hear what he just said?
We're back.
No, but Avi, did you hear what he just said? He goes, oh, well, they played Luton at home. That's your only win. Luton at home.
You were back.
I think I got here too early.
Michael Essien's won more games as a Chelsea legend.
Hey, listen, that was the FCM podcast that said that. Don't take that joke. Don't take that joke. Sorry, that's already on this platform. You can't run that.
Trying to recycle.
You can't run that
content.
back. But yeah, listen. When it comes to the game, they've lost Mitrovic. Obviously, I don't think Jimenez has scored yet this season. So I don't think they're reigning with goals. If we can keep a clean sheet, get one goal. I know everybody's gonna be watching. Just get one goal, sneak one goal, and get out, man. That's
no Jackson tonight.
No Jackson. Yeah, we lost there last year. Willian with the goal.
Felix got sent off there last year.
Yeah, that was his debut.
I think you're nervous.
We got a good record there. Apart from that.
He's shitting himself.
No, that's not nerves. That's just me sweating.
He's been in the toilet for 45 minutes. He's not been on no Elizabeth line.
All scratchy and nervous.
I'm cool. I'm calm. I'm fine.
Do you know what would be another?
That's what someone who isn't cool and calm and fine says.
So cool.
I'm cool, man. I'm fine. Honestly, it's fine. Just leave me alone. Get out of my room, mum.
You know, obviously, we've been talking about the FairPlay app today, the sponsor in the show. I'd have got another good one for that FairPlay app, right? Which is who's going to finish higher, Manchester United or Chelsea?
I still have Chelsea in the top 5.
Rio said United would finish second on DR Sports. Remember that one?
I remember when I was arguing with Cams back and forth and we were talking about who's better off and who would you rather be right now. And I said Chelsea. He said United. United lost on the weekend. It's not. You're
speaking very soon, though. The weekend's not over, my friend. You still have a chance.
The weekend is over.
But technically
literally.
not.
It's Monday.
Technically not.
So the final fixture is
It's
played.
Monday.
The game week is not complete.
If you win tonight, you'll be a point behind them.
Yeah.
Who do you think? Let me ask a go around. Who do you think will finish higher this season, Chelsea or Man United?
What are we saying, like 9th and 10th? United.
I had him 9th in my predictions. I think you had him 8th, didn't you? Yeah, no, I still stand by Chelsea 9th. I think United will finish higher, but 8th. Okay.
You're obviously...
Okay.
It's just when I look at some of those... We was looking at these fixtures the other day on Best of Enemies, man.
That's
Fulham,
horrendous, yeah.
Then you go away to Burnley, then the international break. After that international break, when you come back, you've got Arsenal at home. You haven't beaten us at home for the last couple of seasons, have you? You've got Brentford at home.
Tough game. Beat you last season.
Then you go away to Tottenham. Then you've got Man City at home. Then you're away to Newcastle. And then you've got Brighton at home. Then you go away to Chelsea. Sorry, away to Manchester
I wish
United.
we went away to Chelsea.
Away to Manchester United. Then
0-0.
Everton away. Then a little bit of respite on the 16th, just before Christmas. Because you've got Sheffield United.
Yeah, Christmas will be good this year.
Well, I don't know.
For who?
20
will be back, yeah.
23rd of December, you go away to Wolves, and that ain't no easy place right now either.
Yeah.
It's a tough run.
Listen, we'll take it one game at a time, as they say. One game at a time.
It's not what you said. You said I want 21 points from the next 7 games.
Have we hit 7 games now, after today?
Probably about 6. And
so
how many
after
points?
today, after today we hit 7.
So you wanted 21, so how many are you on now?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
You sounded like a robot then. What is wrong with you?
But
I don't know.
I don't know.
I am unaware of this information.
But when we hit the 7 games, then ask me about the next 7, and I'll tell you.
You're shameless.
Ibi says, I'm glad I don't have to hear from Matisse and Fuad begging City to go invincible anymore.
I wasn't begging.
A whole league campaign unbeaten is a little hard. Who said that last week about invincible? Was that you?
Fuad has definitely said it.
Or was it Fuad who said it?
He said,
keep telling people, right, that invincible thing
Fuad
is hard to do, even if you are Man City. It's hard. LJ Brown says, Matisse nightmare is happening. Spurs, Arsenal, top of them, and they're in the bottom half. It's not a wonderful day for Arthur, he says.
It could finish a
Right.
wonderful evening.
For Arthur. Wow.
Right.
Arthur.
Where's
oh.
DW?
Uncle
at?
Mad said, had to take off Saka. He limps off every game. And there's going back to the VAR. Joel says, why not have VAR decisions on the microphone like they do in the NFL, NBA, and in rugby? I would like that as well. I think that'd be a good idea. Just going through some of the other results. Big win for Aston Villa. Ollie Watkins with a hat-trick, beating Brighton 6-1.
I watched that.
Incredible result.
I couldn't believe what I was watching.
Yeah.
Genuinely, like, threw it on, and 26 minutes in, they're 3-0 up, and they're walking. And it's weird, because Brighton never really got an opportunity to get into the game. And it was kind of maybe similar to the West Ham one, where Brighton would have a little bit more of the ball, but they would just, every time they counter or transition, they just hit them. And they were so clinical. Watkins, Estupiñán, and Matoma down that left-hand side it wasn't their best day at the office. And that Diaby-Watkins link-up, I saw it at Chelsea as well. It's ridiculous. Them two are serious. So Emery's cooking. He's a great manager.
Everton 1, Luton 2. Lift off for Luton. What a big result that was for Luton, and what a bad result that was for Everton on AGT.
Yeah, I mean, again, instead of focusing on how bad Luton were, you have to give all the credit to Edwards and his team. No one gave them a chance. No one even said that they would win an away game this season. To actually go to Goodison and not only win, but they were controlling that game, Robbie. There wasn't really moments where you went, Everton are really on top here. The water's going to break the burst. What's it called? The water's going to burst soon and the floodgates will open. Didn't happen. And for them to hold on, yes, the first goal was a bit of a mess, but Lockyer will take it all day long. And Everton, after a really great week, beating Brentford away. Who else did they beat away? Villa in the cup. I'm seeing Everton fans tweeting saying, in fact, I'll try and find it and read it out, because at least it wasn't this bad for Liverpool the other day.
Go on a run.
They say, sack Deitch, sack the coaching staff, sack the boards, F the owner off, sack every player, burn down Finch Farm, burn down Everton, burn down Bramley Moor, and apply for a winding up order. End this misery. That's how Everton fans are feeling right now. They don't want to exist. So at least it's not that bad.
Newcastle 2, Burnley 0. Newcastle, another good result for them. It's been a good week for them as well.
Yeah.
And a very formidable place to go to.
I'm going on Wednesday.
St James Park.
I'm going to Newcastle PSG. It's going to be amazing.
They got a good point at Milan. It was an awful performance where I had to watch, but it was a great point.
Yeah.
And then
imagine how good that atmosphere is going to be, though.
Oh, it's going to be unbelievable.
PSG as well.
Unbelievable.
I mean, I think Mbappe's out with a hamstring at the moment, and
oh, really?
He was the last game I saw them play. He limped off. They only drew 0-0 at the weekend. They're not really the PSG of old at the moment, so it's a great opportunity for Newcastle.
Tell you what, the ultras are going to have a long trip up to that away end, aren't they? They're not going to be happy. Their microphones ain't going to reach down to the pitch.
That atmosphere is going to be incredible.
It's going to be
Fever pitch.
Send you vids.
West Ham 2, Sheffield United 0. Jared Bowen again.
So good.
Great
damage
player.
limitation for Sheffield United after getting beaten by 8 last week, but still another defeat for them. Bowen is on fire.
That goal was unreal.
Danny Dyer. He just started the song.
That goal was unbelievable. I didn't think it was David Moyes in charge when I saw that.
Yeah.
Proper football they're playing. And
knocking it
able
about
to bring
nicely.
Kudus off the bench, and it's ridiculous. They look good.
Am I confused or something, or am I still, even up to 2 weeks ago, seeing West Ham fans wanting David Moyes out?
I think that
He-
every
I-
time they,
a
every
lot of
time
them
they
wanted him gone
lose-
at the end of last season.
He is their best ever Premier League manager.
Definitely a shout.
Name one that's done better than him.
No,
for
Alan
them.
Kirbishley now.
No, but you won a trophy, innit? Remember to say.
Yeah.
Say it's
No,
got
it's true.
to.
No, it's true. He's got to go down in.
I know Dan Lawless is a big Moyes out guy.
They were. I wonder if they've changed their opinion now.
Well,
I think
listen,
they
you've got
just
to give him
the
the
recruitment
credit.
last season and Moyes didn't really align too much. Like Skamaka.
But this year,
But this year
it's
they've
all-
kind of it's
But
something
they're
different.
playing much better.
are
like,
they even
much
better
more
off without
attractive.
Rice?
I'm never going to say they're better off without him, because
Yeah.
he's better than all their midfielders. But I think they've reinvested the money very
they've-
well.
But
What
Ward,
they've
Prowse and Alvarez, I would take them two over Rice for West Ham, for sure. The impact that they've had, unbelievable signings, really astute.
I just think they've reinvested very well. You know, like you said, Ward-Prowse, Alvarez, Kudus as well. They've put the money to good use. So I would put it like that. I think Rice's the leadership that he had is probably irreplaceable. So they've done well. It's not usually we get that much money and you actually spend it properly. So
Seems
very
like Robbie's
impressive.
mic's not working,
Try it now.
which is
Mic
Probably
check.
a positive thing.
Nottingham Forest 1, Brentford 1. So another draw there for Forest.
I've got a player out on loan there that they're not using.
Who?
Andre Santos. Really annoys me.
I don't think you've used him either, have you?
Well,
Exactly.
that's why he went there. He was playing in pre-season. He was so impressive. They're not using him off the bench.
Is that the missing piece? Is that what will save you?
No. I just
Or
want to
just
see him play
spend
games.
another billion.
I want to see him play
Spend
games. He's a good
another
player.
billion and
Yeah.
then
Should never
should be
load
right.
Yeah, you've really cut corners. You've not spent well at all.
Yeah. But by the way,
Yeah,
just
been
on that
cheap.
game,
Really cheap.
how was
Just a
the was it Whistle or Mbeumo who got taken out by the goalie that should have been a
I think
pen?
it was Wissa.
How has he
Whistle.
not appealed for a penalty? Because
Dunno.
in the
Yeah, it was
replay,
Whistle.
he just carries on.
Yeah.
Like,
Keeper just
how?
swipes him, right?
No, but he's not even swiped him.
He's
He's
a fair
booted
guy,
him
see,
right
see, I
in the
mean,
nuts.
fair
And
guy,
he's
fair
just not
guy.
even appealed
He's not said
for it.
anything, yeah.
I'd be going right to the ref straight away.
Oh, we've got a new segment, by the way, each week.
Ref watch.
Oh,
Forget
nice.
Dermot Gallagher. It's all about AGT.
All of a sudden, he's turned to.
So you've moved away from statistics to ref watch.
Yeah.
Now
Yeah, the statistics game was a bit tough for
looking at
me,
the
man.
odds.
Ref watch.
Marlon
back.
says final positions: Chelsea 17th, Man
My
United
sources weren't on
16th.
point.
Poema says is Matisse catchphrase going to be "We need 40 points from
stay
last
up.
year, or should have won it." What's it? You got to choose one of the catchphrases. Winder Dog says not
He's
Ivan.
thinking.
Sign Abbey in January, and then the quadruple is on. Daniel says Roberto said that Brighton can't do 2 games a week. Well, yeah, listen, you better get used to that.
We've got them on
Because that's
Sunday.
what you got, 2 games
Away.
a week. It was a horrendous result for
I
Brighton.
think always with Brighton though, they played that way of football that they're always so open. So if you can utilise it, they're never going to change the way that they play. So sometimes it comes off, sometimes it doesn't.
They're still
for
in
them,
a great
but-
position.
Yeah, they are.
I think it's 5 wins.
But you can get a
A
win.
couple
over them.
heavy
You've got
defeats
to match
though
it.
already. In the league.
Yeah. The Newcastle.
home,
was it Newcastle?
West
no, West Ham.
Ham.
Yeah,
West
West
Ham.
Ham.
Yeah.
All right, taking a look at the league as it stands, Manchester City, despite their defeat, are still top of the league on 18 points. Just 1 point off them, behind them is Tottenham and Arsenal with identical records, same goal difference at the moment as well, both on 17 points. Liverpool in 4th place now on 16 points. Villa move up to 5th on 17. Brighton drop down to 6th on 15. And West Ham in 7th on 13 points, just below them, Newcastle on 12. At the bottom, don't worry,
there you
Matisse, you're not in there yet. Sheffield United still rock bottom on 1 point. They played 7 games. Burnley 1 point as well. They played 6. Bournemouth drop into the bottom 3. They've got 3 points after 7 games. But Luton, the big winners this weekend, they move out of the bottom 4
They're 1 point off
with 4
you.
points. And Everton only just above them on 4 points as well. Chelsea on 5 points, but they have played 6 games. If they win tonight, that will move them up into 13th.
Congratulations,
Points.
man.
We are 1/5 of the way to my target.
You are
Staying up.
disgusting. Don't point
40
at me.
points.
You are a sausage. If Fulham win, do they go above Chelsea?
They're already above us.
Fulham
What
are
are you
already above Chelsea. And even if Chelsea
Hold
win,
that
if Chelsea win, they'll be on the same amount of points as Fulham.
Well done, man.
So
taking back London one borough at a time?
if Fulham win, they go above Man United. So interesting. Well, listen, we've come to the end of the show today. It's been a very, very they're shaking hands.
How
at
did
the
they
end.
shake? What did I miss?
It was very heated earlier
It's
on.
like brother
I
and
imagine
sister, you
It's
know?
like 25 years of knowing each other.
This is how we get sometimes. It's the first time in 25 years she's
To be
ever...
fair, the Saturday night, he was
won.
getting so worked up on that group chat. It was killing me.
What a show.
What a show,
But
guys.
big up to Abby, man.
I'd like nearly
Why
10
did you
K of you
keep?
today.
Why did you keep looking that way? Every time I looked on the stream, you were facing that way.
I couldn't
Looking
watch
for
the
answers.
corruption. I could not watch it.
Good option.
Just looking for answers.
I could not watch it, Robbie. I had to walk away from the set for my own mental health.
Well, listen, we've reached the end today. Matisse, thanks for your 5 minutes.
Thanks for your contribution.
Pleasure.
Your contribution. Thank you very much, Abby. Thank you
you.
very much as well, AGT. And
Nice one,
thank you
Rob.
to you guys. Don't forget this video brought to you today by FairPlay. Click the link in the description and enter the code AFC. Get involved right now with our bet. And we'll be back on Thursday where we're going to be looking ahead to a big weekend of games. Man City visit Arsenal. That's going to be a big game for the weekend as well. Hopefully no VAR controversies in that. Unless we benefit from it like what Tottenham did. Thanks for watching.
Fantastic.
I will see you next week.